Hi guys, I am Mohammad Naji Abu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing on a design principle called KISS. Okay, so people call it as keep it simple and stupid, and some of them will say that it is keep it simple and short, and rarely people says it as a keep it simple and straightforward. Anyway, the goal is to make the code as simple as possible. Okay. So KISS, which is actually strive for simplicity in your code rather than trying to create something overly complex. And the KISS will make easier to understand, debug and maintain our code. So maintenance is like very important. Usually what happens is that we will be developing a small phase 1 or like a POC maybe in a couple of months. Then after that we may have to expand this particular code to phase 2, phase 3, something like that. Maybe like the same code will develop, the development will be happening like maybe like 3 or 4 years, right? So in between, the lot of developers have to contribute to this particular code base. So if our code is very complex, then it is very hard for them to understand. So ensure that our code is very simple and easy to read and understand. And few tips to make the code is simple. First is use meaningful variables. Instead of using XYZ, ABC and IJK, something like that, use some meaningful variable, something like count, file names, first name, last name, something like that. So it is very easy to understand. By seeing the variable itself, we know that, okay, the purpose of the variable is maybe referring to a first name of a person or second name of a person or age of a person or something like that, okay, instead of XYZ. The second point is break down complex code to small codes. So usually like we can see that people may be writing 200 lines of codes in a single function. Okay, so instead of that, make sure that your function is doing only one activity, or like the function should be doing one responsibility. The function should have only one responsibility, and also make sure that it has a the number of lines should be like very less in a function. Say like usually people are says that the number of lines should be less than 10, or if it is hard, we can say that between 10 to 15 may be fine. So if it is increasing more than 50, then it's actually is a alert for us. So we have to revisit our code and try to see uh, maybe like something wrong in our code, or we may have to split the function to like into 2 or 3 functions, something like that. So keep this kind of a maybe range, maybe 10 to 15. Then it is increasing that, revisit your code. Then the third point is, yeah, similar to variables, we have to write a meaningful function names or module names. Okay. Yes, same here. So we can sometimes we can see that just like do, we can see that a function named like do only. So instead of that, provide like actual thing that the function does. Maybe it may be saving a customer, it may be a what we called, it may be calculating some particular things. So ensure that from the function name itself, we need to get that feeling. Okay, this function is doing this particular thing. Okay, and ensure class has a single responsibility. Okay, same as functions. I just mentioned in one of the points, the function should do only the single responsibility, right? So similar to that, class should have only a single responsibility. And write comments in your code if necessary. Okay, and if there are some logic is there, so it is better to write the code, and it is very easy to understand by the other developers. And for that, the fourth point, ensure class has a single responsibility. We will be discussing that more in our coming sessions. Okay, so for the time being, just understand that, okay, the class should have only single responsibility. For example, if we have a class dealing with a customer, okay, ensure that we are dealing only with the customer only. Okay, so does not include the units or like some other things. Okay, instead of just include the details with respect to the customer. Definitely that is very the example is not very much accurate, but we can discuss it. Definitely we can discuss it in our future sessions. Okay, so let me show you a sample code here. Okay, few examples. Let me open it. Okay, so there are two codes. One is named as a number loop.py, and here the developer has done something. Okay, he defined a function called number loop, and then he is checking like n is less than 2, return false, and here we have a loop. Okay, and he is trying to divide with that number, and is modulus of I equal to 0, checking the modulus, a return false, a return true. Okay, from the name, and we are not getting anything, it's named as a number loop, but from here we can see that we are calling this function, right? Number loop function is calling, and here we are saying that number is prime and number is not a prime number. So this means this particular function is trying to figure out the number is prime number or not. Okay, so this is our second example, second file. So here you can see that developer has done little different here. What he has done is he has given a proper name, is prime. Okay, so this is actually giving a idea that okay, this particular function is checking a prime number, a number is a prime or not. Some hints we can make it more, I mean we can rename it like more accurate, but this is definitely better than the first one. Okay, and he has done one more thing here. Okay, instead of going through like entire n, okay, he is just traversing only half of the number, and he is trying to figure out it is prime or not. Okay. Then the rest of the code, okay, no need to worry about that. This is just reading the number and printing it. So the goal is to make our code simple and give the appropriate name to the function. Okay, then second thing, yeah, these are very simple examples. Okay, it's not a complex example, these are the very simple example just to understand what is keys. Okay, okay, so here is another example. Okay, here we have a reverse string, and what it does, it is actually calling recursively this particular function. Okay, and trying to reverse the code. So we have a another py file here. Here we can see that it is just using the slicing method to reverse the string. So definitely we can see that this code is much simpler than this code, right? This is very hard to understand, but this is very simple. Okay, so this is a property of the slicer operator is a property of a Python programming language. Okay. So anyway, the entire goal is, what I am trying to say is to make your code as simple as possible and give proper function name, variable name, and give like proper comments so that like everybody understand what is mean by this particular logic or what you have written there. Okay, and it is very easy to debug the code and easy to maintain the code. Yep. So that is all about in this video. Please do like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.